Thanks for joining us today. Welcome to our second in a series of webinars that we are doing this year. This is John Taylor, Vice President of Sales with LightPointe. The first webinar that we did earlier this year was on FSO installation and best practices. If you missed it, we recorded it and posted it on our YouTube channel, along with other instructional and product videos. Today, we're just going to talk and present and demo the LightPointe patented hybrid system called HyBridge. Customers sometimes are afraid of the impact of what weather will do to FSO. Some of our 60 gigahertz competitors like to exaggerate the potentials of availability issues with FSO. HyBridge can give you a longer range and versatility than 60 gigahertz radios. HyBridge is a rate adaptive multi-frequency GigE wireless bridge that is always on. You never lose connectivity, and you have longer range than 60 gigahertz. The HyBridge demo will be presented by Brian Peterson with LightPointe Customer Service. Please type your questions throughout the presentation, and we will answer them at the end. Now here's Brian.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, John. Yeah, today we're going to go ahead and discuss the HyBridge All-Weather Series, and as John mentioned, the HyBridge units are a multi-frequency rate adaptive solution. So the beauty of the HyBridge solution is, for a majority of the time, you're running on our laser-based, high-secure, full duplex gigabit solution. You'll stay on that solution, getting that full bandwidth, even during rain, light snow, but should you incur adverse weather conditions such as heavy fog or snow, whatever that is, that would be enough to take the laser into its down state, you'll automatically switch over to our integrated radio. As you can see here in this image, the HyBridge SXR5 with the integrated radio has switched over to the radio. Once the weather pattern has passed or changed and you're back to your better weather, you switch automatically back to the laser-based solution, back up to your gigabit capacity. As you can see from the design of our solution, the laser-based products are immune to interference from RF, and vice versa. The RF doesn't have any impact or degradation from the laser. So it really is combining two complementary technologies into a great, always-on solution. And that's really the critical aspect of the HyBridge product, is it does give you that always-on, always available at any distance. Now we have taken the HyBridge product line and really put it into 4 separate products. The product that was shown in the earlier slides is for the SXR5. Now the SXR5 indicates that we have the integrated radio, and as you see on the far left hand side image, that radio is installed just below the link head, and that allows it to be aligned perfectly as you align the FSO product. Now if you have a radio or you have a frequency issue where you prefer to use a specific radio manufacturer or a specific frequency based on either your country, your location, or just your general feelings, we do have the LightPointe HyBridge SX, which we call a radio-ready product. And what we mean by that is there is actually a port on the bottom of the unit that's an RJ45 10100 port that allows you to plug in your existing radio or radio of your choice and then have your switchover be to the radio that you prefer. That port can be powered or unpowered with 48 volt depending on a toggle switch that we have on the back of the unit. Now the SXR5 and the SX have the ability to go approximately 800 meters in most climates. Now that's a good amount of distance, but if your particular application requires greater distances, we do have the two products that are on the right-hand side of the screen. Those would be the LXR5 and the LX. Same type of principle. The LXR5 is a radio integrated into the unit, as you can see pictured. And then once again, if you prefer to use your own radios, whatever your circumstances are, either you have an existing radio, whatever that may be, the LX is actually the radio-ready product. So really the choices are up to you as far as let us know approximately how far you need to go and we'll be able to tailor the product to you. In all cases, you're able to extend the distance of the lasers and still have extremely high availability over the lasers, and then you always have that radio to automatically
Muted. Unmuted.
Now I'm going to actually switch over to talk to you about the brains of our system, which is the Air Manager product, the Air Manager software. The Air Manager is what really controls how this whole product works. In addition, it's also what gives you all the monitoring capabilities that you could ask for. So it has a web browser for doing immediate viewing and also configurations. It has SNMP capabilities. It has syslog capabilities. And with every system, we do include a CD-ROM that has the MIB libraries. The system also is designed around the ability to do in-band or out-of-band management depending on what kind of network you're running and what works best for you. So I just want to show you some of the features that we have for the Air Manager. We will do a whole separate webinar specifically on the Air Manager and how to configure it and how to monitor what kind of feature sets it has exactly. But for today, I just wanted to show you the various aspects that are available through the web browser. Primarily what we look at is it does have a statistics view, and that is down here in the lower left-hand corner. That allows you to look at what kind of traffic is passing through, which port is that traffic passing through, what kind of traffic, etc. This is a great way to view what is going on with your unit. Additionally, when you do decide to go with an SNMP strategy and or a syslog strategy, in the management section, which is by clicking on the icon here on the primary screen, it opens up the management interface. And what you can do is set your trap destinations, your syslog destinations, you can do your get and set communities, etc. All this can be done in the management section. Now, one of the benefits of the Air Manager solution is that it does have SNMP already integrated into the product itself. So depending on which SNMP software you use, internally we use MGSoft, but whichever software program you opt to go with, we do supply you with the MIB libraries for you to compile into that software package, which will then allow you to monitor and graph and do whatever types of monitoring and tracking that you want to do based on what kind of software you have. Now, we're going to go to the live demo in a few minutes, but I do want to tell you about how we have this set up here in our offices. We actually have a HyBridge SXR5 mounted in our office pointing to our shipping doors. And at the back of the unit, we have a camera installed. So as you are looking at this image, this particular unit, which has the camera behind it, is not directly connected to the network except for the fact that it's connected through the remote link head. So this remote link head, the one closest to our roll-up door, is actually the one that is connected to our network. This unit, along with the camera, are standalone units that have no direct connection to our network except through the FSO. So this is truly a live demonstration. This is truly going through free space in order to connect these units and for us to visually see the camera. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the camera up with a live image. I'm going to have my ping running along with my SNMP trap ringer console and my syslog. So in just a moment, I'm going to get these up. I'll have John go out, but it'll be, just give me a second to get everything up, and I will show you. So stand by. So there's the network camera. You can see our guys packaging product up, ready for shipment today. There is my ping test already going. Currently I'm pinging the camera so that you can see how it works. Here is my TFTP. John is blocking the screen as we speak. Let me get up my trap ringer. So as you can see, John is blocking the beam. It is going into LOS. When he blocks it, you can see you get a request timed out. Now we'll see if John will actually unblock it. There we go. So you see a quick blip. Let me move this up so it's a little bit easier to see. So when he unblocked it, we had a 12 millisecond delay, but we didn't even lose a ping. He blocks it again. We get a request timeout. You see all of these alerts coming up. Same thing here on the trap ring console. He removes it. The unit comes back up. Signal strength is back. We lost one ping on the return, and the system is back up and running. And again, you can see the guys are still in the background doing their work. John is actually going to block it one more time. There's our timeout. You can see the box is wiggling that he's using to block the beam. Again, this is about 8.5 feet in the air, so he has to use a stick to block this. And then when he unblocks it, you can go see that the LOS comes back to normal. The FSO RSSI comes back to normal. The redundancy goes back to normal. In other words, we're no longer in the redundancy failover mode. And we are back up onto the normal unit. And everything is back up and running. So again, let me just go through these real quick to show you. So when John triggered, and I'm logging both our remote unit, which is 81, which is the far unit, and the local unit, which is 80. You can see that when he blocks it, you get an LOS alarm. So now you have loss of signal. You have the FSO RSSI alarm, meaning that you drop below RSSI. It kicked over into the redundancy failover. It now started transferring over the copper link, which is the backup port. When John unblocked it, the LOS returned to normal. The RSSI returned to normal on both sides. So we have 80 and 81. The redundancy goes back to normal, meaning that we are not on the backup radio. And the copper link goes back down into its standby state. That is how the HyBridge works. That is why we're able to keep our uptime as high as we do. So when you take a look at, for instance, the pings, if you lose one or two pings over a given time period, even if you had that happen, you're looking at, statistically, in order to keep 5 nines, you're looking at roughly 5 minutes of outage per year. Well, with the way the HyBridge is currently designed, it would take, let's see, one ping is let's call it a second. You could have, 60 times 5. Well, that's not going to happen in a given year. So we can achieve that 99% uptime or availability number because of the way the HyBridge fails over so quickly and then returns so quickly. So let me also then kind of show you the way that we do this is through the FSO RSSI low and RSSI high thresholds. So what we do is we actually set the thresholds at a point that we avoid a flapping mechanism. So if you had something that was going up and down, a fog event that was having you hover right between 0 bars and LOS, rather than having that unit flap up and down, we actually hold it in a down pattern until it reaches the RSSI high, which would be this 300 millivolts. And these are adjustable, but this is where it's set at from the factory. Additionally, within the software, you can program your radio so that within the LightPointe, you could put your IP for your radios in here, and you can go directly and open up the radio's website to verify things. We also have what's a secondary port throughput. Currently it's set to unlimited, but depending on the radio that you pair up with this, you can change what your throughput's going to be. So if you were to do, say, I don't know, for instance, I have a customer in Los Angeles that has an FSO and a millimeter wave running in parallel. So what he does is he uses unlimited, and that way he has full throughput on both sides. But if the radio you're using is, say, a 2.4 gigahertz radio with low throughput, you're going to reduce the throughput down to, say, 12 or 24 megabits, because that's the capacity of the radio that you're using. So it does give us a ton of flexibility. Additionally, because we do have a radio that isn't at a gigabit speed as the backup, we also have the ability to set quality of service so that you can prioritize, say, your voice traffic over, say, just standard TCP traffic. So this is a really flexible product that allows you to do a lot of things and keep your system up and running efficiently. Let me go back to my PowerPoint, which we've done the live demo now. And I wanted to show you some examples of our product in action, I guess, for lack of a better term. And here you can see numerous installations of the HyBridge product. Some are using our built-in radios, some are using their own radios. Also here you can see, here's the LXR5. I believe this is a unit going approximately 1.6 kilometers. And then you've got this HyBridge SXR5, and this one's going about 600 meters, I believe. Then you have others that have chosen to use a radio that is either pre-existing and or is preferred. And that really is kind of the basics of the HyBridge unit. The goal, of course, was to show you how it worked, how quickly it fails over, and how quickly it returns. So, as you can see, it's a fairly instantaneous switch over and switch back. So I'll go ahead and turn it back over to John, and we'll take a look at questions that may have come up during the presentation. John, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Thanks, Brian. And if you've got any questions, please type them. I've got a couple already. How long has the HyBridge been on the market?
Good question. The HyBridge product's been on the market for about 2 years now. Prior to that, it was based on the GigE product, which has been on the market for about a little over 3 years. So really, the GigE was the predecessor. The HyBridge then took it to the next level by integrating our patent that we have for a HyBridge solution. And so, yeah, you're looking at about 2 years, 2.5 years.
Another question is, why can't I do the same thing with spanning tree?
Sure. Spanning tree, yes, it could be used. However, there's a lot of inherent issues with spanning tree and a wireless solution. Mainly what you get are these flapping or unidirectional issues. And what happens is, because wireless is a bidirectional, spanning tree was based on wireline solutions. And when you have a wireless solution, you can have where you're either hovering right around good signal strength and bad signal strength. And if you are in that area, what spanning tree could end up doing is flapping. And if it does do this flapping or up and down, it will actually cause more problems on your network and will most likely cause a lot of your applications to shut down because they can't maintain a connection. With us, we eliminate that. We bring it all inside the unit, and we maintain and watch the signal strength to make sure that we don't have that flapping or that up and down aspect.
Got a couple of questions coming in regards to the switchover RF system. One is, what is the speed of the RF backbone?
Sure. Right now we're using a 5.8 gigahertz radio, and it does in real world about 72 megabits, kind of full duplex. And although they do claim that it's a 300 megabit radio, but it only has a 100 megabit interface. So you have a 100 megabit interface, and you get about 72 megabits in realistic throughput.
We actually answered the other question too, the same answer. What's the maximum distance that they can cover?
Sure. We look at the SX and SXR5. You're looking at about an 800 meter maximum distance recommended. And when you look at the LXR5 and the LX, you're looking at about 1,600 to 1,800, depending on where you're doing your installation.
What is the typical maintenance for these systems?
Well, they are designed for outdoor use, so the actual maintenance is really minimal. We do recommend that you go up annually and wipe down the faceplate. Obviously, if you're in an area that it's very dusty or sandy or dirty, then you might want to go up twice a year and wipe down the faceplate. But other than that, an annual inspection of the unit, just like any other wireless product that you put outdoors, you need to go out and inspect it occasionally just to make sure that all the bolts are still tight, no one's been up there messing with it, construction crews aren't up there working on it and bumping it. So really it's just a matter of doing an annual maintenance and verification, which, as I said, you should do anyways with any outdoor rated product.
Looks like we've got two more questions. What is the warranty of the product?
The warranty on the product, those of you who've maybe used LightPointe in the past have known us as a 1-year warranty. But starting March 1st of this year, we actually increased the warranty to 2 years on the product. So it has a 2-year standard warranty. We do offer options such as advance exchange, if you need that higher level of insurance, and we also offer an additional year to purchase if you wish, so you could have a total of 3 years of warranty.
And looks like we got another one just snuck in here. List price for the SXR5 and the LXR5?
I'll let you handle that one, John.
Okay. The SXR5 is around $12,000 for a system that includes both pins, link kits, heavy-duty mounts, and the RF backup, and then high-powered PoE injectors. The LXR5, you're looking at $1,899 for it.
Okay. Thank you.
I think that's it. Covered everything. Brian, thanks a lot for the presentation. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. If you have any questions, Brian's contact info is right there. You can also email sales@lightpointe.com. And we also have our sales guys around the world that can assist you with